Hey, what's up? My name is Dave, and as you know, I interpret everything. Today I'm going to be interpreting Speak No Evil, a 2024 psychological horror thriller film and remake of a 2022 Danish film of the same name, following an American family who are invited to stay at a British family's remote farmhouse for the weekend. The longer they stay, though, the more this British family begin to exhibit strange, possibly malicious intentions that test their limits and their sanity. So, I do vaguely recall seeing the poster for the original film via promotional emails during its initial run. While I never actually ended up seeing that movie, I couldn't help but think about that poster when the marketing started to hit for this film. And for a short while, I actually thought it was the same movie before I learned it was a remake. So I immediately got to thinking, if a movie that came out only 2 years ago got an American remake, it's got to be good, right? Especially if it's horror. Well, with any remake, you're going to get both positives and negatives, and while I can't really speak so much for the original film, I can say that in general, Speak No Evil was made well. One of the very first things that you will appreciate about the filmmaking process with this movie is the cinematography. It was shot primarily on a real 60-acre farm in England, so visually the film's stunning, and it does a really great job throwing you into the story, as it really does have this oddly secluded feeling from the beginning to the end. The next thing that you'll probably appreciate about the film is James McAvoy's performance, who absolutely knocks it out of the ballpark in a variety of surprising ways in this film. I mean, if you saw the original film for which this was remade, I actually hear they changed the ending, and after having seen the movie, I can only imagine what that ending was. And I can't speak so much about that for obvious reasons, but I'm somewhat curious to see what the Danish film did. Unfortunately, I feel as though in general, the film feels oddly too safe or generic narratively. I think that the whole idea was initially penned out because the creator of the original film actually was invited to stay at a home of somebody that he met on vacation. And because he was a little bit paranoid, he wrote a screenplay of what could have happened had he decided to go for it. If you just take that on its own, I'm pretty sure you could probably imagine a lot of the plot points that happen throughout the movie. I won't spoil it for you if you don't already know though. The trailers, once again, I hear show too much. I don't doubt it, given the fact that they all show too much these days, but even if you didn't watch the trailer, I would still consider this movie to be wildly predictable. It works off of the very simple presumption of basically don't talk to strangers, except it dives a little bit deeper than that by basically saying don't stay at a stranger's house for a weekend in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that probably goes without saying, but whatever. From there, the film carries on like a pretty typical psychological thriller that feels like we've probably all seen it before quite a few times, and again, I couldn't really help but feel as though it continued to make safe decisions after safe decision. Yeah, I mean, it is a psychological horror/thriller film, but American remakes have often been accused of being a little bit too soft with their stories, never really being bold enough to make unsafe decisions that could theoretically make or break the movie. The original did. Again, I won't dive too much into that or what I read about the original, other than to say I hear it didn't remain in a safe zone. But who knows, from everything that I can tell, this version has in general been rated higher than the original, which never happens. So maybe the original movie sucks, I don't know. What I do know is what I've already said. It's a well-shot, well-acted film that has a legitimate feeling of unease from the get-go, something that I feel like anybody would experience. Even if that feeling of unease is all in your head just because you're out of your element. You don't really know who these people are or where you are, and that can all amount to a feeling of despair and hopelessness, which I suppose can amp up that paranoia dial in your head. But if that at all is what the film was going for, I don't think they quite got there for the viewers. I think in general, everything felt a twinge too obvious. But maybe that's just me. I rated Speak No Evil a C+ letter grade overall, meaning that it is a high-octane, entertaining movie that is made well, performed well, edited well, with great pacing and cinematography, but it is highly predictable and safe, meaning that there were so many areas that I thought there was just missed potential on what they could have done, but ultimately didn't. Maybe I'm crazy though. What did you guys think about Speak No Evil? Were you a fan of it? Were you not? Did you see the original film in 2022? Would you agree to hang out with a bunch of strangers in the middle of nowhere for a weekend getaway? Let me know, and as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review, whatever and whenever that may be. And until then, peace out!